Hey, Sunny here. Today I want to show you how to play a song called Inside Out by XYZ. It is from the self-titled album XYZ. XYZ is one of those bands that is a great metal band from the 80s that was kind of underrated, because there were so many bands at the time. It was easy to overlook some of those great bands. XYZ is one of those bands. Spray Eagle is another one. Shotgun Messiah is another one. You know, those bands had some great guitar players, but they were underrated. So anyway, so this is Inside Out, and here's the intro. And play it slowly for you. Alright, so the first thing you do is slide from 17th fret up, and then you play 7th fret on the D and G string with your index finger, and hammer on with your ring finger on the 9th fret of D and G. And then you lightly mute on the low E string twice, and then you play the 9th fret of D, G, and B string together. So basically you're playing an E power chord, but you're just playing this the 9th fret notes. So you do two more times on the low E string, and then you play this E sus. That's basically D9, G9, and B10. And back to the 9th fret of D, G, and B. Before you do that, you got to do it one time on the low E string. One time on low E string again. 7th fret of D and G. One time low E. And 7th fret of D and G again. And you always lightly mute on the low E string. Everything else you got to play the chord. So, and we finish up on the low E string mute twice. So that's the first measure. So it goes like this slowly. Again. A little faster, it would sound like this. The next measure, you play. I use my middle finger and ring finger playing the 7th fret of D and G string. And once I play those two notes, I gotta pull my ring finger off from the 7th fret of G to 6th fret of G. So it goes like this. My middle finger stays on the 7th fret, and I don't move it on the D string. So you do that. You play the 7th fret of D and G. You pull off on the D7 and G6, and you mute on the on the A string twice, and you play the D7 G6 again. That's basically A major third interval, and you play four times on the on the A string, and you play again A major third interval. And 2 more times on the A string, and you play the A major third interval again. Hammer on the 7th fret on the G string. And you lightly mute on the A string one time, and lightly mute on the E string one time. So you can basically break that measure down into 4 notes per measure. So it goes like this: the first 4 notes, second, third, fourth. So again. Another way you can to think about it, you can do the and you go and then 3. So I'm going to play the whole thing slowly. The second measure right there, I'll just show you. That's and not pausing, just all the way through. Again. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Two measure to get both measure together, 1 and 2. Okay, and you repeat that again. You basically repeat the two measure I just showed you 3 times. So you do that 3 times, and the 4th time, the ending's a little different. The 4th time is exactly the same what we just did, but the very end you do the harmonics. So it goes like this. This is the part where you're different. So, and then you play on the 5th fret on the G string, between 5th and 6th fret, 3 times, and then 5th fret between 5th and 6th fret on the A string, and then on the D string, same thing, and open G string. So and slide down from 12th fret down. Okay, so that's the 4th time. Let me play it the 4th time slowly right there for you. Again, that last part right there. Again. So that's the intro, and then the verse starts. The verse goes like this. Alright, so that's the verse, the first 2 measure. What I'm doing is I'll play open E, A, and D string together, and then I hammer on to 2nd fret of A and just A and D string, and do mute twice on the low E string, and then you play the E power chord, which is open E string, 2nd fret of A and D, and then you do 4 more times on the low E mute. E power chord, twice on the low E, power chord again. Actually, you go and then you blow and you play the 3rd fret on the low E string and pull off twice. So you pick it one time, pull off, pick it again, pull off. So that measure goes like this. One more time. Slowly. A little faster, sounds like this. Next measure, you kind of do the same thing, but you do it on the A, D, and G string. So you play those open 3 string, A, D, and G together, and hammer on the 2nd fret of D and G string. So basically you have an A chord, mute twice on the A string, A chord again, mute 4 times on the A string, A chord, twice more on the A string, and you play the 2nd fret of D and G, slide up to 3rd fret and back down to 2nd fret. Use your index finger and then open D and G string together. So that 2nd measure goes like this of the verse. Both measure together. Okay, the next measure, we're going back to the E motif. Kind of like what I just showed you on the E chord, but there's a little variation to that, so it goes like this. So what I'm doing is I do the same thing like beginning. Open E, open E, A, and D string, and hammer on the second fret of A and D, so it'll give you an E chord. Twice on the low E string, E chord. Twice more on the low E, and then 5th fret on the A, low E, 7th fret on the A, not muted. Twice on the low E, and they play the 5th fret on the A string again, hammer on the 7th fret on the A string and give a harmonic little. So hammer on and you pick it on the 7th fret. So that measure goes like this. A little faster, sounds like this. Next one, back to the A chord, and you play the open A, D, and G string, and you hammer on the 2nd fret of D and G. Twice on the A string, A power chord. You pause for a second, and you play the open G string, the 2nd fret on the G string, slap the 4th fret, and then play the E string on the high E string, pick up, and 4th fret on the G string, pick it, and pull off on open G string. The 2nd fret on the G string, slightly bend up, release, pull off. 2nd fret on the D string, pull off. Let me play a little normal speed so you can hear what it sounds like. Slow down for you, what we just show you. One more time. So far all four measures in the verse together sounds like this, at half speed. Well, about 20% slower. Next one. You do the same thing just like with the first measure of the verse. No different, exactly the same thing. The second verse will go like this. So it's a little different the second time. So you do the A chord again. So you do the open A, D, and G string. Hammer on the 2nd fret of D and G. You do twice on the A string. A chord again. Twice on the A string. And then 5th fret on the D. A string. Open A. 7th fret on the D. Open A string. And then play the G string on open G string and hammer on the 2nd fret on G. And play the 2nd fret of G harmonic. So the whole thing goes like this. Okay, we have two more measures. We'll finish the verse riff. The next measure is just like the E. No different than what we showed you before, except the very end of this measure. That's all it is at the very end. So you go. So after you play the E chord, you mill twice on the E, and you do the hammer on pull off on the D string 3 times. Let me play slowly for you again. Faster sounds like this. Next one. And that goes to the chorus. So the last measure goes like this. You play the A chord, open A, D, and G, and hammer on the 2nd fret of the G, D and G. Twice on the A string, A chord. 3 more times on the A string. You play harmonic of 5th fret of D, G, and B string. 1 more time. And you play 12th fret on the E string, slide down. And it goes in the chorus. Again. 1 more time. And that goes to the chorus after that. And the chorus goes like this. D chord, and then they play A chord. One thing I want to know about playing the A chord, you don't play on the beat, you play like right after the beat. So instead of going 1, you go 1. So that's where the beat falls. It falls on the right after the strong beat. So like I say, you don't go 1, 2, 3, 4. You go 1. So you go 1, 2. So you fall on the second 8th note of the strong beat. So it goes like this: D, A. C is not on the beat, so after, and then E chord, same thing. And slide up, and then you play this 12th fret of D and G, and then 14, 12 on the D string, 12th fret on the G, 14th on the D. So that chorus so far goes like this. You do the same thing on the D. A. Next one is different. You do the B chord. So you play open A string and 4th fret of D, and hammer on the 2nd fret of the A. And twice more on the B string. Twice more on the B power chord. So basically, it's 2nd fret of A and 4th fret of D string, and then 4 more times on the B power chord. So it goes. So basically, 8 times together, including the hammer on. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and pause for a second and play this. 12th fret on D and G twice, 14th fret on the A string, 12th fret of D and G again twice, and then 14th fret of the A string. So the chorus so far with this. And it goes back to the opening intro. This is the chorus now, inside out. So. So you do the intro, just like I show you in the first 2 measure, and then you go. Actually, it's really weird. You play this, and you play the D chord again, A, E chord. You play a little riff here. So 7th fret of A, A5 and E7, D5, A7, and you repeat again. And that finishes the chorus and goes back to verse and goes to verse 2. And there are some variation in verse 2, but it's a lot like verse 1. Just play around with it. But what I really wanted to show you, just what I just did here, is a great rhythm pattern. Once you learn it, you can do a lot and play different songs and come up with your own variation of just playing over E and A. The reason why I like to show you this song, teach you this song, because it's very simple. You're playing E chord and A chord, but just two chords. But what can you do with those two chords? The movement between those two, you can make it fun and just have a lot of groove to it, just like this song, Inside Out. Great song by XYZ. Thanks for watching. See you later.